story goes, I don't know a lot, so I had to borrow from different sources from different people. Cousin Wilma, she's helped put together the reunions over the last couple of decades, really, hasn't it been? Since 1987. So I borrowed information from some of the previous pamphlets from other reunions with information about history. And I also borrowed information from this book written by someone from the community, Griot, The Evolution of Edgecombe by Curtis Hardison. Some of you may know him. And so he wrote about the history of Edgecombe and how some of the families came to be in this area. All right, so starting off with the history, the Nixons. In the late 1700s, Alan Nixon was born into slavery. He married his first wife, name unknown, and had a son named Cousin. Cousin married twice, and his first wife is unknown. He married his second wife when he was around 60, and she was 30. Two sons were born from this union named William and Robert, and they were also born into slavery. William married Annie January 22nd, 1885, and they had a son named York. York had no children. Robert married Judy on December 1st, 1886, and he had a son named Miles from a mother named unknown. Children from Robert and Judy's marriage were Nessie, Millie, Caroline, Lucy, May, Kelvin, Philip, Thomas, Samson, Grifford, David, and Elbert. Miles married Josephine Lavinia Batts on May 19, 1905. They had 9 children: Herman, Maud, Elizabeth, Eddie Ward, Alonzo, Roger, Cleo, Charlie, and Amingo. Herman married Ella Louisa Williams on October 1925, and 2 children were born. John Wilson and Helen Lavinia. From there were 7 grandchildren, 23 great-grandchildren, 34 great-great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-great-grandchildren. And this was quite a few years ago, so I'm sure there's even more now today. And there's a quote here that I will read to everyone. I think maybe Sierra added this. I sustained myself with the love of family by Maya Angelou. All right, now to the Batts. So I think a lot of this information came from Cousin Huldah Jane Alexander. Some of you may remember Cousin Huldah Jane. I think the Batts. Between 1845 and 1848, a local white farmer named J. Batts went to Norfolk, Virginia's infamous slave pen and bought 2 slaves. The man was Tootie and his wife was Janie. They were given the surname of Batts, which was the start of the first blacks in the Edgecombe community. The first Batts reunion in 1987 was conceived by Mother Huldah Jane Alexander, who was born less than 36 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So the first generation goes back to Toonie and Janie. Second generation, Dempsey and Big Huldah, Burl and Mandy, Stoke and Millie, Craw, Peggy and Mike, Hedda, Willis, and Winnie. The third generation, Almond and Janie were married, Caroline, there was Henry Clay and Harriet. In the fourth generation, there was Adner, Kirby, Lister, Vance, Hesse, and Andy Sidbury were married. In the fifth generation, Ivy Dudley, Eileen, Roosevelt, John, Mary Alice, Shirley. And obviously there were so many more names that we probably need many pages to include everybody in this. So this is just a quick snapshot of the different families. But if you'd like to read more and learn more about the history of Edgecombe and the different families that have made this their community, the Batts, the Shepherds, the Sidburys, take a look at this book. It's available on Amazon by Curtis Hardison, The Evolution of Edgecombe. And that's it.
All right, hello family. I just have something I wrote here. It is truly a pleasure to stand before you today at our Nixon Batts family reunion. As we gather here surrounded by the love and laughter of our family, we are reminded of the rich history and the enduring strength that has brought us to this moment. Our story, as Eva just stated, begins in the late 1700s with the birth of Alan Nixon, who was born into slavery. Despite the unimaginable hardships he faced, Alan's spirit remained unbroken. He married and had a son named Cousin, who carried forward his legacy of resilience. Cousin in turn faced his own challenges but never wavered. At the age of 60, he married his second wife, and from this union came William and Robert, who were also born into slavery. On the other side of their family tree, between 1845 and 1848, a local white farmer named J. Batt went to Norfolk, Virginia's infamous slave pen, and as Eva stated again, purchased 2 slaves, Toonie and Janie. They were given the surname Batts, making them the beginning of the first black Batts in the Edgecombe community. Now, I'm going to pause real quickly here because I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity, but there is a old graveyard for the Batts, and it still has Batts there that's in this community. I was able to go there recently, maybe about 9 months ago, and it was very fascinating that you'll see there's old tombstones, but there's none of the black Batts. We do have some elderly family members in the community that remember going there as children, and one of the reasons that there's none of our headstones there is because they were created with wood, and so over time those things go. So that really spoke to me because it speaks on how ground can be sacred even though there's not anything there really to mark it as how it's that sacred. The spirit of unity and strength has always been at the core of our family. This was evident in 1987 when the first Batts family reunion was conceived by Mother Huldah Jane Alexander, who was born less than 36 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Her version and dedication brought us together, creating a tradition that we proudly continue today. Our family has always been united, and it is the unity that makes us strong. Many of the older generations may have heard these stories that Eva just said today countless times, but it is vital that we share them with the younger generations. Not just younger generations like Camden and Drew, and we have Victoria and Isabel and some of the younger ones here, but also people like myself, my cousin Eva, Gino. I mean, a lot of the things that we were reading, a lot of the people I've met here today, I know your face, but I might not know your names. So these are important, and it's very, very important to me. So I'm so happy that we could do this. Sorry, I lost my place for a moment here. It is through these stories that we keep the memories of our ancestors alive, ensuring that they are never truly gone as long as we remember them. Today, we stand on the shoulders of giants. We give reverence to those who came before us, acknowledging their struggles, their sacrifices, and their unwavering spirit. They have paved the way for us, and it is our duty to honor their legacy by remaining united and strong. As we celebrate today, let us take a moment to reflect on our journey. Let us remember the strength and resilience that courses through our veins. And let us pass these stories down to future generations so they too can understand the depth of our roots and the power of our unity. Thank you all for being here, for being part of this incredible family, and for continuing the legacy of unity, love, and service. And now I just want to take just a moment to do a moment of silence in honor of our family members. So just a moment. Thank you. And may we always honor our past, celebrate our present, and look forward to a future filled with hope and togetherness. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Sierra, for that word. Okay. So we're kind of drawing a little bit to a close, so those who are ready to go can go ahead. What we're going to do next, we're going to have some more bingo, some more prizes, and then we're going to start dancing. I'm ready to do the Cupid Shuffle, the electric slide. We have some cards. I know some people want to play spades. So it's going to kind of be like a breakout session. So that's what's up next, just so you all know. Before we get to that though, one of the things that we did have planned, but unfortunately kind of fell through a little bit, was supposed to be a bake-off. So we had a bake-off. I was supposed to bring my cheesecakes. I was very upset because I know they were going to win, but I got an hour here and realized they were in my freezer. So no cheesecakes today, but I was eating at home. So that's a win for me. But we did have somebody that brought in, Mommy brought in some, I think her and Aunt Pat had a group project. You brought in the lemon tarts. She brought in lemon tarts. I see a thumbs up from Eva. They were delicious. Delicious. So I'm gonna place that recipe on the screen in a little bit. You feel free to write it down. I believe it was probably